Hybrid versus electric versus plug-in hybrid. What's the difference and which is best for you? The car industry has evolved a lot from what it used to be. And with this evolution are new trends, new cars, and new modes of operation. Surveys have shown that many customers are confused about the differences between hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and fully electric vehicles. Do hybrids need electricity? Do electric vehicles need gasoline to function, or are they 100% electrified? What are plug-in hybrids? Which is best for me? These and other related questions are what we will be driving through in this video. We'll start from the very foundation to clarify things. What is electrification? And what does it mean for a vehicle to be an electric vehicle? Electrification simply means a degree of electric drive. Electric vehicles, EVs, are vehicles that operate fully on electricity with no gasoline engine. Plug-in hybrids are part-time EVs, meaning they can run on electricity and still have a gasoline engine. And then we have pure hybrids that run only on gasoline. Just like we have gas stations, there are also charging stations for EVs, but not as common. So how do these EVs maintain their range? Just for clarification, range is the approximate distance a car travels with the residual fuel in the fuel tank. And in this case, for EVs, the reserve electricity in the battery. There are a lot of factors that affect the range of an EV: the battery capacity, driving style, road condition, and typography and tire condition, to mention a few. We'll be looking at major factors that determine range, and talking about this will help you make an informed decision should you get an EV in the future. The battery. We're all familiar with the MPG, miles per gallon, in gasoline vehicles. But in electric vehicles and plug-in hybrids, we have MPG-E, miles per gallon equivalent, which stirs up a lot of confusion as to whether they use gasoline too. MPGE is a term used by engineers to equate fuel efficiency in terms we all understand. It's not important. Ignore it. Instead, focus on kilowatt hours, because that's what you'll be paying for. What is a kilowatt hour? kWh. It's a quantity of electricity. Think of your home electric bulbs that have 100 watts. 10 of those would give us 1,000 watts, or 1 kilowatt. Kilo means 1,000. And if you use these 10 bulbs for an hour, the total electricity expended is 1 kilowatt in 1 hour, which is 1 kilowatt hour. Applying this to electric vehicles, it's the amount of electricity used and the amount of electricity stored in the battery. Similar to gallons in a gas tank, but stay focused on kilowatt hours, because that's how the battery capacity of EVs are rated, and also how electricity is sold. We all know that if you drive your car roughly, or the topography of the road is terrible, it uses more gasoline because you're forcing the engine to develop more horsepower. So, when you similarly use an EV, it draws more kilowatt hours than it should from its battery pack, thus reducing range and costing money. Now, let's talk about three main types of electrified vehicles: hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and electric vehicles. Starting with electric vehicles, since they are so hot in the market. Electric vehicles, EVs, are more appropriately called battery electric vehicles, or BEVs for short. This type of vehicle runs on electricity only, has no engine or gas tank, and emits no exhaust from the tailpipe. They have large electric motors which are powered by the electricity in the battery. The batteries are big and are sometimes stored under the floor of the car. They have storage capacities ranging from 32 kWh to 100 kWh, depending on the model and the size of the customer's pocket. Of course, consumption varies by the size and type of vehicle. The most efficient EVs are estimated to use about 25 kWh per 100 miles, while heavier, sportier models are estimated to use about 40 kWh per 100 miles. Unlike MPG, miles per gallon, lower is better in this case. The less you use, the less you'll pay. Consider your charging options too. Even if you have a standard power outlet in your garage, you might want to consider installing a 200-volt line wall-mounted charger to take advantage of quicker level 2 charging. While it takes 24 hours to fully charge a given battery-powered vehicle on house current 120 volt, most models reach a full charge overnight on the 240 volt. Also consider where charging stations are located around the area you live, work, and shop. EVs are best for people who are homeowners, have access to 240 volt home charger, have more than one car, have charging stations around them. But if you're not sure you can plug in every day, only have one car, or take spontaneous road trips, consider buying a plug-in hybrid or PHEV. They are part-time EVs. First, powered by its electric motor and battery, further supported by a gasoline engine and a gas tank. So, you either plug them in or you gas them up. PHEVs have medium-sized batteries that can power the vehicle for about 17 to 53 miles. When the batteries run low, the gasoline engine comes on automatically to power the vehicle. The exact range they can travel on their electric-powered battery differs by vehicle, weather, and driving conditions. If you drive less than 30 miles each day, you can plug in the PHEV overnight and not have to buy gasoline for weeks or even months. But for longer commutes or weekend trips, no problem. The gasoline engine will keep you moving. PHEVs are best for homeowners with a single car. Access to a charger at home or work doesn't need to be 240 volts. People who want to own an EV without limited range, hybrid, or hybrid electric vehicles, HEVs. We are mostly familiar with this type of electric vehicle, and the electric part is what gets people confused. Hybrids operate only on gasoline engines and can't be plugged in. So where's the electric in that? Let us show you. A typical HEV vehicle has a gasoline engine, an electric motor, a transmission that can combine the two, and a battery. Where does the electricity for the battery come from? It comes from braking mostly, and excess power is siphoned from the engine to the battery while driving. The braking part is called regenerative braking, and it's a common feature in all three types of electric vehicles. So when the brakes are applied, the electric motor activates, generating electricity in the process. And then that electricity is stored in the battery. It doesn't have to be a huge battery because it only stores electricity from a few stops. Let's take a look at the Toyota Prius. It can achieve over 50 miles per gallon in the city because the kinetic energy that is normally passed off as heat in the brakes is being recovered, saved in the battery, and used to get the car moving again, delaying the ignition of the gasoline engine. Though some hybrids use their stored energy for performance instead of fuel economy. An example of such a hybrid is the Acura NSX and Le Mans prototype. Hybrids can't run on electricity alone, so don't let them run out of gasoline. HEVs are best for people who live in apartments, have no access to chargers, eco-conscious. Electrification does not mean the end of gasoline engines. On one end, we have the EVs that are 100% electrified, PHEVs that are part-time electric and part-time gasoline for longer trips, and HEVs that are purely gasoline engines but store electricity for fuel economy or performance. Which of these do you think is best for you? Let us know in the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.